Nintendo is a very early to mid game, and the Lilia in the late game is just a hassle to deal with. And as you can see, Slate banning away that Barats, very directed towards Bray there.
The way that the drafting has gone so far, there is going to be a relatively high probability that Slate might actually go for soft supports onto their side, be it a Rafaela or going to be an Estes. While RSG, they have a, well, most of the time, or rather in this case, I would definitely prefer to see them picking up a hard tank. In this case, they need to open their map as much as possible and ensure that they deny rotations coming in from Slate all over the place. Because momentum right now, the way that Slate has been drafting for themselves, it is definitely going to be pretty grim, and it could very potentially break the momentum of RSG.
We're going with the Baxia here. Major throwback to the tank meta. I mean, it's still relevant. It's still relevant. That's a nice soft answer towards that Esmeralda only with Tortoise Basons. It's very more of a soft counter. It's a very one answer, right? It's like a full open-ended question. All you do is, do you enjoy MPL? Yes. And then the question continues with why, and you just don't answer it. You know what I mean? It's a three-part question.
If you ask me why, I would just say yes.
Just yes again.
How much do you like MPL? Yes.
How old are you? Yes.
Oh my god.
But
Guys, check this out.
Whoa.
Oh, of course.
Jawhead Jungle and the JPL Cho makes his appearance once again, opening up the show, the very first game with nice comfort heroes, the walking ward, the walking way of the dragon, the big boy Cho. We even heard the crowd chanting JPL.
Yeah, this is a very tough draft. At this point in time, Slate just seems to have everything in the palm of their hands. Every single one of these heroes are solid. They can all deal at different situations all by themselves, and they are very individualistic. And you put them all together, it is looking great. Remember how I talked about soft support?
Yeah.
It is not going to Slate after all. It goes over to RSG, who picked up the Estes.
Estes for themselves. I mean, Lolsie did say that he was the top number 5 Estes in Singapore, and we can see today how will he bring this Estes to MPL SG. As we can see the crowd going wild right here. GG to RSG. Good luck to both teams here. Slate and RSG. Abstract and JAYZ. Take it away, guys.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Vertigo and Abstract, for taking us through that draft. The crowd is hyped. You can hear the Let's Go Slate sneaking into our mics. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, on to the first game. We've go on to the grand finals. This is RSG going up against Slate.
5 seconds.
Here into Sanctum Island, we have the entire map divided into two. Blue and red. One at the bottom left and one on the top right. The one, of course, that is going to be representing red side in this case is going to be RSG. Diablo, 505, babycakes, BRAYYY, and Lolsie. While on the opposite counterpart, blue side, we have FMM, Seilah, Adammir, Gear, and JPL. All of these heroes and all of these players are starting with their own individual start without anything too crazy. Except for the fact that JPL, doing JPL things, decided to go straight into the enemy's jungle.
Yeah, going in the back line, going commando, but he's taking a lot of damage. RSG, I think BRAYYY doesn't feel phased at all. As the Baxia, you should be able to rotate from one jungle camp to the other very quickly. So Slate is hoping on that. Now, there's something that's breaking the MO right here. Lolsie playing as that Estes.
Definitely not something that we have seen at all. Very much, well, a pocket pick from Lolsie, and definitely not something that I am expecting at all. This brings down their aggressiveness in the early stages of the game. This is more about the turtle composition. This is really all about that turtling up in order for them to scale over to the later stages of the game.
Yeah, of course, for the side of Slate, there is some form of answer using that Cho, but Unstoppable Force on top of 505 this early on, but take a look at the amount of heals Lolsie can provide. 505 doesn't really need to go back and reset.
There's way too much sustainability all across the board from Slate to RSG. This game really boils down to who is able to survive any fight the longest. And even at this point in time, it's kind of tough to answer the question. But once Estes is level 4, we know very well that RSG will have a massive, massive power spike in terms of that sustainability that I was talking about. As such, they can be a lot more aggressive in taking objectives, but they can't be overextensive.
Yeah, but take a look at where Slate is now. The Jawhead nowhere to be seen, whereas RSG will take up this turtle absolutely free. Adammir using the ultimate to get on out. First turtle goes over to RSG, but Gear is already here. Unstoppable Force going in. Babycakes get tossed. Oh my goodness! FMM is the one that gets tossed instead. The Blazing Duet managed to kite FMM away, but Lolsie, oh no, he is here. Gear on single down the help. He's unable to connect. On top of that, Gear get out scot-free.
Just by a hair. It is really all about the positioning that that Gear has put himself in. Definitely tough to put himself there. But of course, even though we are looking at the fact that both teams are still 0-0, there is still a lot of probabilities that we could be looking at, such as the difference in emblems and how that is going to be changing the game. Between the junglers, we're looking at Baxia that picked up the Demon Hunter, while on the other side from Team Slate, we have Gear that picked up Killing Spree. Yes, Killing Spree, not Demon Hunter, not High and Dry. It is Killing Spree. He does want to move on from one place to another. A lot of quality of life changes into how he will play as this Jawhead.
Yeah, he will definitely want to use that Jawhead to dive in the back line to eject one person. If that's a kill, he's able to go out. This Jawhead is playing more like an assassin. In the meantime, RSG, they're looking around at the bottom side. That is Diablo waiting in the bush, but he will be scouted out by the members of Slate.
The entirety of RSG, they would want to congregate themselves and, of course, get close to one another as soon as possible whenever the clock is online. But they also just can't move together too closely, especially since they do have a couple of heroes that can be pretty elusive and agile when it comes down to using movement skills, namely Diablo. But Diablo, knowing how Diablo plays, he's always going to be at the other side of the map and just not going to be part of the action.
Ejector connects on number 2, and here comes Seilah coming with the ultimate at the same time. Firefight is the one to pick up the first blood for now. It is going to be Seilah. Oh dear lord, taking down Lolsie at the same time. FMM on the other side of that. Cosmo Tang affected on top of Babycakes, but the fight is not over yet. JBL will get aggressive upon, but Diablo, oh no, he's here. He's going in. I think he's trying to get activate, but FMM tried to peel for it. Would not be able to secure his teammate, no. But the members of RSG, they take a lot of kills, and also the turtle in the pocket.
A 3-4-2 trade, and as RSG has managed to find themselves on top in terms of value of kills as well as objective. A total of 2 turtles has been taken by RSG, putting themselves well over 2,000 gold on top of Slate. Game is definitely not over just yet, but with a peek on the items, we will have a better idea exactly what kind of composition that they're trying to go for exactly and what kind of game plan they are heading into.
Of course, looking at the items, you already see the Phobias already going in that clock. That means that, you know, the Phobias will need some time, and time is definitely what Slate needs. But right now, it's all focused about making sure that they don't give too much structures away to RSG, maintaining that gold lead as close as possible and catching up during the mid-late games of that fight. But of course, BRAYYY, you know, RSG, BRAYYY is rolling, man. He's going around the map, securing neutral objective. They're trying to get some, you know, mid-game pressure using on top of Diablo, but JPL looking for some pick-off would not be able to find it. And for Slate, they need to go all in. Estes will heal it all the way up if you let him go, but okay, Diablo, oh, he's in trouble though. 2 members sticking on top of them. Adammir picking that up. No way that Diablo will be able to get away.
Oh, no way, Jose. I gotta have to say, bottom lane is now completely clear, and Slate now has an advantage with a pressurizing lane in the bottom. RSG would want to open up ways in order to punish the rotations coming in from RSG as much as possible. So whatever it is, RSG's movements have to be reactive to Slate. So far, Estes hasn't quite been in the crux of the fight most of the time because, yes, he has been trying to go for babysits. But Slate, they are actively trying to avoid working around Lolsie, especially since the Blessing of the Moonlight Goddess is a really pesky mechanism to deal with.
Definitely, RSG, they're roaming as 4 or 5 at the same time. Slate, on the other hand, spreading out the whole map like thin layered tire. They're not even giving any form of team fight opportunities for RSG. They're going around the side lane, sneaking up, ambushing. That's how Slate will be picking up here, but the flicker will be used. Firefly will get kicked, but remember, look at Gear. He's actually focusing on Turtle instead. Finally, there's one Turtle in the pockets of Slate, but RSG, the amount of healing going all the way in. But Diablo coming in for the side lanes. It is going to be Seilah jumping on the fight, all fight for now. He's in a bit of trouble. He doesn't really have the purple shoes, but JBL will be one to fall, traded for Lolsie.
Not too much of an action from Slate. I mean, yes, they did manage to push out quite a bit of impact, and they did manage to push all of the waves in from the top lane to the middle lane. RSG would have no choice and couldn't defend the top lane, and they finally have brought something down. There is definitely going to be expecting to see that the Furbius moving around, sorry, not Furbius, the Esmeralda that moved around a lot more now that he has the unlocked already.
Yeah, definitely has been unlocked, and not only just that, look at the gold, both are equal for now. Slate has caught up in that gold, slowly crawling all the way back in. The priority by JPL, oh no, he comes in from the backline, he kicks, Diablo doesn't get it, the crossbow tank gets activated, and Bray will get some fire as well. Lolsie coming in to lend in some support, but it is gonna be that Diablo goes down at the bottom lane.
In the meantime, Adammir and babycakes are in top lane.
Oh no, that's no way you want to be. Unstoppable force to secure that kill at the top side as RSG, the side lanes are getting blasted.
Of course, Gear, no one pretty much knew that Gear was in of the brush. They really wanted to go for the fight, and of course, babycakes, knowing that he is a Claude, he does have the art of thievery, and as much as possible, the quick little switch with Dexter ought to get him out alive, but you gotta have to say, you gotta have to comment. Gear, he was being quite a ninja, and no one expected that he was gonna be there.
Yeah, the unstoppable force with the injector wombo combo is just so hard to deal with. And now RSG, they're losing the side lane pressure. RSG, they want to walk as 5, they want to work together, but Slate is splitting them apart. But if you split this kind of composition apart, Lolsie can't provide them healing, and then RSG will just crumble.
Slate, they do have a lot of movements around the map, a lot of mobility. As such, RSG will find it a little bit of difficulty in order to get themselves into the team fight that they really wanted. As such, turtling themselves out as much as possible, allowing the front line to actually take up some tank as far as possible. As such, they actually need Diablo in most of these fights, and they will lose all the invisible pressure that they are very used to having. Grouping themselves up like this, not exactly part of their game plan, but perhaps this time we may be able to see a difference, and the difference may be impactful. Starting it off, Bray is just going to be dancing around the lot.
Going in the crossbow tank, Firefly will be one, and Seilah follows it all the way up. The ultimate but Lolsie, he's healing, he's making Seilah all the way back, but it's going to be Firefly picking up mega kill as well. JPL kicks Firefly to the wrong side of the map. 2 members down for the side of Slate. RSG trying to fight for the fighting chance. The blazing the way go all the way in, doesn't even connect on top of FMM for now, but RSG, this is the good fight for them.
Diablo puts himself into the faces of the enemies. Oh wait, hold on a second, not over Bray.
Oh no, Gear, where do you come from? Unstoppable force on top of Bray, and then all of a sudden you don't really have the retribution, and Slate will run away, perhaps with a Lord.
Adammir, he still wants to push his attack up into the top lane and try to put on more pressure on the opposite sides of the lane. They know that they don't really have the opportunity to take up the Lord anymore. But Gear, he's still somewhere around the map. Yep. Bray, he did go down by the hands of Gear after all. So the Lord going down is understandably still going to be it, despite having some of this advantage.
Yeah, but RSG, they're not out of the woods just yet. This Lord is still a baby Lord, but FMM is responding to the RSG push at the bottom side. It is babycakes that need the farm and starts to need to split push. Yes, he's as flexible and as fluid as Diablo, but then again, do you really want to sacrifice a Claude to split push like this?
10 minutes and 40 seconds into the game, we are starting to see players starting to get kind of ramped up with 3 items and or more. Especially when it comes down to 1-1. 4 items has already been built up. The counterpart is going to be the Claude, which only have 3 full items built up. Well, both of these marksmen do have Wind of Nature for themselves, so it really comes down to skill-based strategy and, of course, how they would want to eventually put up a fight. RSG's way of putting up a fight is that they will always want to put someone in the front lines in order to tank as much as possible, putting Bray or Diablo as the bait. Whenever they realize that, look, Seilah is coming in, they do have the mobility, they will rush down, or rather rush backwards in order to split Seilah away from the rest of the team, and that is where they will single one person out.
Adammir, the slow coming in for the Firefly. Adammir will be able to walk on away RSG just now, but concealed play going in. JPL looking for some pickup. Firefly is
found
the
it.
victim, but it's going to be Firefly using the purple shoes. And FMM, he shut down Firefly. And now the Lord is still standing. RSG, they need to try to defend using Esther, the Blessing of the Moon Goddess gear, looking for some pickup. JPL going all the way back in the front line, but tossing Seilah all the way to the front line instead. Slate will focus on the turret instead, and man, Seilah just racking havoc at the back line. But RSG, they are split up. Slate right now on a bit of hell. Diablo trying to make something work, but Seilah jumps into the air and misses Diablo for now. But Lolsie, that's really healing for RSG, trying to hold FMM. Wind of Nature coming back in. RSG, they will not be able to pursue.
A steady push coming in from Slate, despite the fact that it only had 3 person and all of them were all on critical health. The top lane inhibitor turret ultimately went down, and Slate tried to buy even more time in order to push down the bottom lane and the middle lane all by themselves automatically. Slate have got a total of 7 turrets taken down already, and RSG, they are definitely having some difficulties. 3,000 gold deficit from them, and the best that they can do right now is open up the map as much as possible in order to flush out where JPL is. They need to deny all of this map control. They need to ensure that Slate doesn't have their eyes on them.
Yeah, JPL has been seeking all this information, right? Being so annoying to deal with. JPL is super slippery. Like, it's like fish. You're trying to hold it, but it keeps running away. And speaking about the fish, he catches Gray all the way back in. And I think he activated the crossbow attack. Gray is under a bit of damage. And now the massive limits from RSG didn't have to force the Winter Trinket. Now FMM, oh, it's going to be a 1-by-1. But Adammir is asking, where are you going to go? The Blazing the Wind, a defensive one. But Seilah will be able to shut babycakes down, giving the double kill. And now Slate, 5-man strong versus RSG, 2-man only. And Slate, they can go for the Lord. They can also go for the end.
They are definitely going to the end. Slate only have 2 person to deal with, and it doesn't seem like they'll be able to do
going
quite
in.
much.
Diablo, nowhere to run. It's just Lolsie left in the base, and Slate, they will pick up game number 1.
And an effective draft coming in from Youngin. Their different ideologies came up on top of one another, perhaps even making full use of each other's weaknesses. No, JPL, the camera is not the hateful stand, but good job.